Okay, so that way nothing gets missed. But welcome to our team call. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you guys. I'm trying to figure out why. I know last week I wasn't able to be on and we had wins and wows with the broader team. And then the week before, I guess, is when we had Ashley Hudson. So I guess it just feels like it's been 2 weeks since I've seen y'all. So I love seeing your faces. And, I just want to come on here and say, like, I know so many of us that are on here show up every week to the team call and we kind of just jump right in. And that's just how we roll. And I love that we get this time to connect, but I also realize that, we're all getting on here from completely different types of days and life things that are going on. And every time you show up, you are communicating something to yourself and to other people and to the personal resolve that you have to move forward and continue making an impact. And so I just really want to congratulate you guys for showing up and to acknowledge the space that you might be in life right now. I know I'm in a little bit of a space in life and it felt like a lot in a way for me to show up tonight, but that's what we do. We show up for each other. We show up for ourselves, for the people that, we're seeking to go out and impact. And that is not something that I ever want us to lose sight of, the simplicity of, even when we say this on the Start Strong call, but it's true. Sometimes you show up to bring the energy, and sometimes you show up because you need to be around the energy of other people and what's happening. And I feel like I got that in the first 2 minutes that I was on here tonight, which is awesome. So I love you guys. I am so excited about conference and hope that you guys are too. It looks like, I think most everybody on here is already committed to conference, but we are going to take some time to focus on conference tonight. I'm super excited about some things that we're going to show you guys and equip you with in order to help you invite well to conference. So we'll get to that. First, I'm super excited because I'm going to turn it over to our awesome Natalie Sadek, who is a QNMD and had the amazing privilege to attend the leadership school, often known as Q School, that our JP corporate is by invite only, fully paid for trip to Memphis, where they do a leadership training and they, treat them like royalty, and they get to brush shoulders with and have conversations with the highest of the high people in our corporate office. And I really wanted Natalie to share about her experience, because I think that it's important just for everybody to be able to hear a little bit about, from a person who's been behind the scenes, and get to hear a little bit about their perspective about just our company. And I think that going into the next conference and some of the exciting tweaks and things that are being made that are coming, it makes it even more exciting to get to hear some of these things. So Natalie, I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you take a little while here to share a little bit about your experience with us.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'm super excited to share with you guys. I feel like I was thinking about, I was actually super pumped about talking about my experience. And I think that so often in my life, as I continue to learn about myself, oftentimes I kind of mute or downplay things that are great. It was so great. It was so fun. And I think that, just to sum it up, I know I've talked to some of you about it, but it honestly was just straight up fun. It was refreshing. It was really inspiring. And I think that I had several takeaways, but I'm just going to kind of narrow focus basically two. And that really, like Leah said, brushing up with some of our corporate people. I think most of us, I'll speak for myself, but I think even though I've heard Leah share about, the way that corporate treats NMDs, when they're at different events, or just, she's been in the company longer than any of us, and just, her, she's always spoken highly of corporate and that they have our back. And I think it's something you believe, but then when I was able to see it, face up front, real life, and experience it for myself, it created just another layer of oh my gosh, I really believe that this company is everything they say they are. Because I think sometimes, again, just to be totally honest, in the back of some of our minds, we're like, does a corporate, you hear about other companies that switch stuff up and, change structures or are out for, just making money. And, I think in the back of my mind, I thought, are they really everything that they say they are, or that I've, been led to believe? And I feel like I can say with a resounding, like, it's crazy, but yes, they really are. Like, Jay Martin is legit. And so, a few stories. So, I mean, really the whole time we were there, not all the corporate people, but the COO of the company, Sean Hopkins, I don't know if he's retired and just can't leave Juice Plus, but Ron Watkins, Leah, is he retired? I don't even know if if he's just a legend that still just hangs out.
I think he has an official role of some sort, but yeah, he's kind of like an icon that's been around for a long time.
Yeah. He has to be close to 80. And, Janet Black, and then all of the business partners, and then regional people. So like our person in Indiana is Dwana. You met Leah's, I'm totally spacing on his name, but he did one of our calls for us. So all of these people were with us the whole time for our dinners and our trainings. And they are like literally, and it wasn't even in the trainings where I feel like I was reminded or like had these aha moments. It really was in conversations at dinner, or, I mean, for example, I probably had a 30-minute conversation, just me and the CEO of the company. And I didn't realize, and who's the guy who always like starts off, at least he usually is one of the first speakers at conference. And he's maybe not the best public speaker, like at conference. But when I was having a conversation with him, I mean, he's so genuine, so down to earth. He's been with the company for 26 years because he's young. He can't be much older than, I mean, he has to be only in his 40s, but he started working for the company right out of university. He's from Canada. And he is a big deal at the company, and he was there with us the whole time and literally asked me, like, what do you think we could be doing better at? And I was totally kind of taken off guard and scrambled to think of something that sounded smart. But so, yeah, I mean, talked with him. And then I sat next to Ron Watkins, who I believe he's director of field support. So like he's kind of over the regional directors like Dwana and all of them. I think I could be wrong, but yeah, so we're sitting at dinner and literally for over an hour, asking him pretty like open questions just about, I mean, he was sharing stories about when they first started the company 50 years ago and stories about Jay and holiday parties, and he knows Jay's family. And just so kind. And then the other thing that kind of sticks out in my mind is on Monday, we took a tour of the distribution center. So not the corporate, we did go to corporate office, but the distribution center, literally it's a warehouse where they're shipping product out, which was fun to see. But there's two people who gave us, tours of different areas of the distribution center. And there's a woman who's been there for, Mandy, 34 years. She's known, and somebody asked her, like, why have you been here? Why have you been here for this long? And she said, Jay Martin. She's like, she's known Jay since she was 3 years old. Her dad was one of the founders of the company and started the company with Jay way back, 50 years ago. And then this other guy also has been there 34 years. And the people who are actually, putting labels on boxes and shipping them out have an average time of working with the company for 18 years. That's insane for being in a warehouse. So that maybe more than anything spoke to me of like, that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's where, they have this guy who's head of the warehouse, who's been there 34 years, cooks them. He cooks for everyone in the distribution center on Wednesdays, like has a cookout. They have a workout room. They have, all sorts of stuff to make. He said, if on Fridays, if everybody's done with their stuff and it's 2:00, he just sends people home. Like, it's just, it was things like that I was like, this company they say the company with the heart, like it truly, genuinely, they care about people. It's not just like hey, we want to be in relationship with people. It's like, no, we're actually modeling that from how we treat our people who are sticking labels on a box and shipping out Juice Plus to everyone. And everybody gets Juice Plus for free. The people who work there, if they want to take it, not everybody takes it apparently, which is crazy to me. And then, so yeah, I think that really just solidified, like, this is a company that is who they say they are. And at the last day they had, and Tanya Oxley, I don't know if you guys recognize that name. She did this training about PVC reports, and she, from like the stage, can seem a little intimidating and like, I don't know, hardcore. And, she just was hilarious. I mean, I was dancing with Dwana at a bar after, like, they're just fun people who really care about their representatives and are excited about the future. And they didn't really give us any sort of information about the changes that are coming, but they were all just super pumped and reiterated, hey, get to Austin and get as many people as you can to come to Austin, which I know we're going to talk about. But I think the last thing I wanted to share, there's this well-known NMD, Lauren Lahav, which I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but she talked about events, and she was basically like, said, what is an event? And I wrote down, she said, an event is a moment, any moment that impacts someone's life. And so kind of walked through different events and her, that she's experienced or that she's hosted, and which I feel like is perfect because we are about to invite to one of the best events to get people to, which is our international conference. And she's basically saying there's three steps to an event, and an event starts when someone commits to going. And so she talked about the importance of pre-event and being a good promoter and creating excitement, because it sets the stage. And she said, one big thing is when you're inviting to an event, you really want to make people feel cared about and wanted. And so, I felt like that was a good reminder. And then she was specifically talking about events that people host, which is, that's a great thing. We don't even have to worry about anything we're putting on because the company is going to do all of that for us when we're at conference. And then post-event. So, following up, and I'll leave you with, she was saying, and this ties back into, really feeling like, okay, we're in the right company, but just people, and we know this, but it's a good reminder. Where did I write it down? People are looking for, in general, people are looking in life for purpose. Like, people want to do something that matters. People want to be healthy, and they want to have, not have to be stressed about their finances. So people want purpose, they want health, and they want financial help. And really, depending on what people, again, partnering with a company isn't maybe for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. And it's definitely a company that I felt like 100% can be trusted and worth every single ask to people that you're thinking about. So I think that's all I got, Leah. There's more, of course, but I think that's it for tonight.
So, couple of things, when I was talking with Natalie and I had kind of asked her, like, out of all the amazing things that she experienced, what did she feel like it really helped her grow in? And she said, it really built my belief in the company and the business. And I think that is a huge deal. And I know when I got the opportunity to go to Q School, it definitely did that for me, but also just the times that I've had to actually tour the home office have been significant for me in belief building, because you learn things about, how they treat their employees, how they treat their community. And those are things that they really matter because they speak so much to the heart of a company. And if you can see the core of a company and by the decisions that the leaders make, even about the small things, I think that's what's so significant. A lot of companies, and ours has too, done some big things that are very seen in the public eye, like literally they've taken the St. Jude Marathon, and I don't have the exact numbers, but they took that marathon and it was like, I don't even know if they were earning hardly any money from that prior to Juice Plus taking it on. And now they earn like a majority of their yearly budget from that marathon every year. And so they've done things like that. But to me, a lot of times it's the small things that you wouldn't know unless you're walking down the halls of the home office and you hear these little things like Natalie's talking about that speak so loudly to me. I know Jay Martin was in Orlando recently, and one of the things that he mentioned when he was talking about the company is that minimum wage at the company is $16 an hour. And that is unheard of. I mean, like if you look at minimum wage, like if you just Google your state's minimum wage, it's probably going to be between like $8 and $10. You know, I mean, it's significantly higher than what it would have to be. And I think that that says a lot about how much they value people and how much they value creating a great experience for everybody that's involved, which is why they have so many people committed to being there, that, you know, have stayed year after year after year after year. Our field retention, some of you may not know this, but it's also astronomically high. So when a person hits SSC, from SSC and above, we have over, at one point it was a 98% retention rate. I don't know the most recent stat, but I am confident it's 95% or higher, meaning once a person hits that level, like they stick around. And that's like insanity numbers. I mean, that just does not happen in any sector of business, you know, at that high of a rate, especially in today's world. When my parents were growing up, that'd be different. 'Cause like, you know, my dad's still working the job that literally he got when he and my mom got married, like almost 40 years ago. But you don't hear about that anymore. Like people are shifting jobs every 3 to 5 years. So I think that once again, it just says a lot about the company we work for. There are a lot more network marketing companies popping up now, and there are some good ones. But what we have is significant, not only because of the quality of what we have. Now, is our company perfect? There is no perfect company, you guys. I'm not trying to say the company is perfect or that they don't have areas to grow in, because they do. But what I've seen over the 12 years that I've been a part of the company is that they're willing to grow and they're willing to listen. And like Natalie said, find out how can they be doing a better job and to shift in that direction. That's why they've grown so much and had record-breaking years year after year these last few years. But, you know, we have a track record. You know, we're not a brand new company that's done great for 2 years or 5 years. We're a company that's been around for 50 and has actually withstood even having product changes. And Juice Plus has been around 25 years. And there's a huge track record there that speaks volumes. So thank you, Natalie, for sharing. And I really encourage you guys that are on, if they're like, you know, I would say for a lot of people, our belief areas, the 4 beliefs: belief in the product, belief in the business, belief in the industry, you know, that we're in, and belief in ourselves. A lot of times belief, like in the business, that's going to show up by how many people are you bringing into the business, is often a direct reflection to the level of belief you have in the business itself. And so that doesn't mean that it's bad that, you know, maybe you're in a place where you recognize like, gosh, like my belief in the business isn't that high right now. That's okay. Like that's the whole point of using the 1 to 10 scale. Acknowledge that with your sponsor and let them help you put a plan in place to build your belief, because when your belief is higher, you will way more effortlessly just bring people in to what you're a part of. So conference, we have a big exciting goal as a team this year. You guys have heard me mention it. You're going to continue to hear me mentioning it. And that's 60 people. That's like 3 times as many as we've ever had come to conference. Did you just say dang, Joseph? Like, whoa, that's a lot of people. But I'm super excited about it because number one, I know that we can do it. And I mean, can you just imagine the impact over the next years just from the people that you bring to conference? Like if you think about number one, the first step is, and you guys can write this down. This last part of the call, we really intend for it to be a little bit more of a workshop. And if you're not in a place where you can write it down, maybe you can make notes on your phone. Or when I send the recording out, you could re-listen to this last like 6 or 7 minutes of the call, because this is the piece that we want to use to equip you to invite. And why? Like, why do we want to have 60 people there? It's not just to be able to say, woo, like we got 60 people at conference. It's because of what happens for people and in people's lives when they attend conference. So the first step is, are you committed? So your commitment is, do you have a ticket already purchased? Do you have a plane ticket purchased? If not, and you're planning to go, I suggest buying now because we're getting a lot closer to time and tickets probably won't get any less expensive than where they are now. You want to lock those big rocks in place so that you're committed, because if you make your attendance contingent on if you can get somebody else to go with you, or if XYZ turns out exactly how you want it to, if all these XYZ things fall into place, you often just won't go. But if you make the commitment to go and you think of it from the perspective of, I want to move my business a year ahead. That's what conference has the potential to do for the people that attend, is to move your business a year ahead. And to me, that's smart. That's business smart. And, you know, whatever your goal is going into conference, it could be curiosity. Like you may be like I was my first conference and not even realize that you signed up for a business. Really, you just wanted to cover your cost. And you're like, well, this sounds fun. A fun weekend with some great people that are like-minded, learning more about health. Like that sounded fun to me. So I made significant sacrifices to get myself there, and it changed everything. So that's the first thing. Once you're committed, it will be a lot easier for you to invite people. And if you bring people with you, your experience and what you get out of it will increase, and the impact that can come out of you being there will like build, 2, 3, 4, 5-fold, depending on how many people are there with you. So what I would love for you guys to write down is, I'm going to give like just a small amount of time because you guys can come back to this. I just want to get us started here. We're going to make like a quick brainstorm list of the people that you want to invite. And there's 3 categories. So you can write the 3 categories down because we won't have time to do all 3 of them. One category is just kind of I just think of it as general. And you'll know what general means in just a second when you hear the other 2 categories. And then the second one would be current team members. And the third one would be medical professionals. And actually, you can make this a separate category or loop it into team members, but I would put customers in there too. So that is how I do it to help me think through all the people I want to invite. You want to make sure that and we'll talk about how to invite in just a second, but you want to make sure that you individually invite every person on your PVC report that's on your team, regardless of whether they have been engaged or not, because there's multiple reasons a person can come to conference. It doesn't just have to be about them building their business. So that's one piece of it. Because we have the nutraceutical and medicine conference in the fall, this is a really, really valuable time to make a specific list of the healthcare professionals that you know, because there's value, there's additional value in it for them. Coming to our conference alone would provide a lot of value to them, but they can pay to go to the nutraceutical and medicine conference. They can get CME credits for it and get a complimentary ticket to our Juice Plus conference. That's a really big deal. And it's a huge value add for them. And so that would be like a whole category to me. General is
Can
like
I say can I say one thing about that too, Leah? Is that also a lot of times this isn't going to be the situation for all healthcare providers, but at least a lot of nurse practitioners and physician assistants is that they can get most of the time the entire thing paid for by their work. So
that's a great point.
And also like not have to take vacation days either. So it's kind of like, I mean, there's really no reason not to go. So
and that's actually, that's a great point, because some people even outside the healthcare world work for companies that want them to do personal development or leadership development, and they could count this as that and get it paid for, get a portion of it paid for, not be able to have to ask off days. So, and even teachers potentially. So that's important to keep in mind. So does everybody have the 3 to 4 categories, however you divided it up? Any questions on that? I wanted to actually give us time to write some names down on it, but I also want to give us time to watch a quick video before we get off. So I'm not going to have us make a list. So what I would like for us to all
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Before you jump into a video, I do have a question. So I have a few like medical professional friends, and I was just wondering like how to go about, like, I know it sounds like that incentive for, you know, getting those points or getting it paid free, but like what else, like maybe Lauren or Natalie, what would be a good way to, like, I guess, invite to something like this for I don't know, like how I can't word it right now. I'm dead. It's Monday and I'm tired, but
well,
I'm trying
going to we're going to send out 2 examples, and
okay,
Lauren or Natalie, if you guys
because I know that like a couple of them are like, it's a drag, and I'm like, oh well, it's gonna be completely, you know, it's, I don't know, I guess I was trying to explain the points part, so I don't know how to word that.
Yeah, so Lauren and Natalie, I was actually going to see if you guys would be up for coming up with just like a simple example of like how you could see it in terms of inviting a healthcare professional. And then I was going to send out like a general one, and then you guys can save those and use them as you're sending them out. And we can just put those on Vox. Because that's the whole point of, and also the video is, we wanted to take some extra steps this year to make sure that we're not just saying, hey, make sure you get your plans for conference and invite some people to come with you, but we actually give you an opportunity to be equipped to like really invite well. Think about any other event you go to. This is how I've been thinking about it. And I'll just use myself as an example, because I think about how many people I invite to an event at my home, or Dr. Sears coming into town in a couple of weeks. And I've never invited that many people to a conference. And a lot of times it's because it slips up on me. And so, and it's a different level of investment, sure, but we're just inviting people. And in order to invite well, you can use a sample invite, but you also have to know your people well. Know who you're inviting and what you think is going to speak to them about the conference experience, you know, and focus there. But what I want us to do really quick, so we're going to go over like 5 minutes, but it'll be worth it, is I already did this, but make an appointment with yourself sometime this week, maybe like 30 minutes, and use that time to fill out names in these 4 categories of people that you want to invite. And you can continue to add to them, but we have to first take the time to get the names down in order to invite well. I mean, it's always fun. I just get so excited thinking about it, because I'm like, it's always fun when we're all at conference together, but imagine what it would be like to have that many people together with us, and each of you guys on here having brought people with you. It's so fun. So the second piece, and this is what we'll end on, that I wanted to give you guys, and I want any questions that are left remaining, you can go ahead and unmute and ask them while I'm getting this set up. But we made a little video that has just some quick snippets from different people on what conference has meant to them. Because in the past, I feel like we have the conference promo video, but usually it doesn't say much. You know, it's kind of like a quick video about the city, which is great. But some people that are thinking about making this investment, it does help to get a little bit of context of like hearing voices of other people who've gone and their perspective and what it's done for them. So I'm going to show that. We'll end on that. I'll send the link out to it so you guys can use it in your invite. We will have like a little if I would you in there so that you can share the video with them. And just as like a little heads up, and I might change this if you guys feel like it's really not a value add, but there are at least one of the videos in here that's hard to hear. I can hear it, but you have to listen closely. All the other ones I can hear well. So I'm just going to like give you a heads up on that. All right. So let me share my screen here. Any questions while I'm setting this up? All right. Here we go.
There has been one time in my life where I was thrown a surprise birthday. And you've ever had a surprise birthday party, walking into a room and having everybody just scream and celebrate and having just the most shocked look on your face and just the overwhelming amount of love is exactly the feeling that I felt when I walked into the conference. And that is exactly why I kept coming back. That the love was just tremendous.
Hi, my name's Lisa Maddock. I've been doing this business since 2005 and I have never missed a conference. And the reason why I continue going is because the things that I've overcome physically and mentally to attend conference has changed in me and brought me to a place of healing and wholeness.
Yes, I have had to make some pretty big sacrifices to go to conference every single time, but it's been totally worth it. Just nonstop fun the entire weekend. And I can remember that conference was where I really got the big picture vision for how special and unique this opportunity was. I really opened up the doors to the possibilities and options for my future, and it's really something you can't explain. You just have to experience it.
The international conferences are a lot of fun. They're an opportunity for reflection. They're an opportunity for development as a leader and as a person. I always find that Leah comes back from conference having thought about what it is that she wants in life, and she comes back more focused and invigorated on moving toward that thing.
My name is Lauren Layton, and I'm a physician assistant. I have attended several GSPUS lives, and one thing that I really enjoy is all of the professional development that the company provides, including continuing medical education. I also love getting to network with other like-minded healthcare providers in a really awesome and fun environment.
Hi, my name is Deshawn, and I think you should definitely consider going to conference. Every time that I go, I leave recharged, I leave refreshed, and I leave refueled. There's nothing like being around like-minded people who are on the same journey as you.
Conference. My first conference to know. I loved GSPUS. I wanted to know more. And what I found out 36 conferences later, I'm not missing one, that I go to conference to grow a franchise. I grew my health, I grew my finances, and now I want to help other people grow theirs. So go to conference so you can grow.
I actually attended my first conference 11 years ago, totally out of FOMO, had no idea what I was getting myself into, and ended up having a total blast, met people that became some of my dearest friends, learned a ton, and it created some massive shifts in our family's life that in the coming years allowed us to design a life around our priorities and values, and that's something I just can't put a price on. And that's why I encourage other people to consider coming, because what if that one decision could create a ripple effect of change in their life like it has ours?
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am joined by Irene Rudnick, who visited me here in Bali. We are going to be doing some interesting collaborations, so make sure to check out her channel. Today, we are in Eden Estate here in the booth, and we are going.
Whew. Okay. I was like, I thought that was one of you guys jumping in to give an opinion really boldly. Okay. Thank you guys for being on. We can wrap it up. It was so fun seeing you guys on. I'll send the link out. Within the next 24 hours, you will have invites and you will have a link. And my suggestion is follow up with your sponsor on the time frame that you gave yourself to make a list so that you guys can work together and create some fun energy around inviting people. All right. Bye, everybody. Love you guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.